Good day, sir. This time, I will be reporting the last where the softball games rule in the rule 9 to 12. Okay, so rule 9, which is the dead ball or ball in play. The ball is dead. The ball is dead and not in play in the following circumstances: when the ball is batted illegally, when the batter step from one box to another, when the pitch is taking the signal or appears to be taking the signal from the pitcher's plate, or steps on the pitcher's plate, when no pitch is declared, when when a pitch ball touches any part of the batter's person or clothing, whether the ball is struck at or not, when a foul uh, fly ball is not caught, when the offensive team cause interference. The ball is in play. The ball is in play in the following circumstances: at the start of the game and each half inning, when the pitcher has the ball while standing in his pitch position and the plate umpire is called play ball. When the infield fly rule is forced, when a throw ball it goes past a fielder and remains in the playable territory, and when a fair ball is strike an umpire or a runner on fair ground after. Delayed dead ball. There are 5 situations when a violation of the rule occurs. An umpire recognizes it and the ball remains live until the conclusion of the play. These situations are an illegal pitch, catcher's obstruction, plate umpire interference, obstruction, and detached equipment containing a thrown ball, a pitch ball, or a fair bat ball. Rule number 10. Umpire. So, power and duties. The umpires are the representative of the league or organization by which they have been assigned to a particular game and as such as authorized and required to enforce each section of these rules. They have the power to order a player, coach, captain, or manager to do or omit to do any act which in their judgment is necessary to give force and effect to one of or all these rules or inflict penalties as herein prescribed. So, the general information for umpires. The umpire shall not be a member of either team. Examples: player, coach, manager, or officer, scorer, or sponsor. The umpire should be sure of the date, time, and place for the game and should arrive at the playing field in 20 to 30 minutes ahead of time, start of the game on time, and leave the field when the game is over. The male and female umpire must wear a powder blue long or short sleeve shirt, dark navy blue socks, dark navy blue slacks, dark navy blue caps with a white and blue trimmed ISF letter on the front, dark navy blue ball bag plate only, dark navy blue jacket and or sweater, and black shoes and belt, white t-shirt worn under the powder blue shirt, uh, and umpire must not wear explosive jewelries that may not pose a hazard. Exception: a medical alert bracelet and or necklace. Um, the plate umpire um, shall take a position in the back of the catcher. He shall have full charge of and be responsive for the proper conduct of the game. Shall call all balls and strikes. So, shall by agreement and in cooperation with the base umpire, uh, calls play and hits the balls fair or foul. Legal or illegal caught balls. The base umpire shall take such position on the playing field as required in accordance with the relevant umpire system. Shall consist the plate umpire in every way to enforce the rules of the game. Responsible of a single umpire. If only one umpire is assigned, his duties and jurisdiction shall extend to all points. The umpire starting position of each pitch shall be from behind home plate. So, change of umpires. So, umpires cannot be changed during a game by the consent of opposing team unless an umpire is incapacitated by injury or illness. Umpire's judgment. So there shall be no appeal from any decision of any umpire on the grounds that he was not correct in his conclusion as to whether bat ball was fair or foul, a runner safe or out, a pitch ball, a strike or ball, or on any play involving accuracy of judgment. Okay. So signals. To indicate that ball shall begin or be resumed, the umpire shall call play ball, and at the same time motion the pitcher to deliver the ball. So a strike shall be indicated by raising the right hand upward, indicating the number of strike by the finger, and at the same time calling strike in a clear and distinct voice. To indicate a ball, no arm signal is used. So to indicate the total count of ball and strike, the balls are called first. To indicate a foul, the umpire shall call foul ball and extend an arm horizontally away from the diamond according to the direction of the ball. To indicate a fair ball, the umpire shall extend an arm towards the center of the diamond using pumping motion. And to indicate the batter or runner out, the umpire shall raise the right hand upward above the right shoulder with first fist closed to indicate that player is safe. The umpire shall extend both arms horizontally to the side of the body, which palms towards the ground. And to indicate suspension of play, the umpire shall call time, and at the same time extend both arms above the head. The other umpire shall immediately acknowledge the suspension of play with similar actions. To indicate a delayed dead ball, the umpire shall extend the left arm horizontally with fists closed. To indicate a trap ball, the umpire shall extend both arms horizontally to the side of the body with palms towards the ground. Suspension of play. Mm. An umpire may suspend play when his judgment condition justifies such actions. Play shall be suspended whether the plate umpires leave his position to brush the plate or perform the other duties not directly connected with the calling of plays. The umpire shall suspend play whenever a batter or pitcher step out of position for a legitimate reason. An umpire shall not call time after pitcher has started the wind-up, and an umpire shall not call time while any play is in progress. If in case of injury, except in the umpire's judgment, with a serious injury which may put the players in danger, time shall not be called until all plays in progress had been complete or runners had been held at their base. So let's proceed to the rule 11, the protest. So protest will not be received. Protests shall not be received or considered if they are based solely on decision involving accuracy of judgment on the part of the umpire, or if the team lodging the protest won the game. Protests that will be received. Uh, Protests that will be received. Protests that shall be received and considered include matters of the following types. So, misinterpretation of a playing rule, failure of uh, failure of an umpire to apply the correct rule to a given situation, a failure to impose the correct penalty for a given violation. So note, protests of the above must be made before the next pitch or before all infielders have left fair territory or if on the last play of the game before the umpire leaves the play field. Protests involving judgment and interpretation of rules. So protests may involve both of a matter of judgment and the interpretation of a rule. Notification of intent to lodge protest. The notification of intent to process must be made immediately before the next pitch. Exception: player ineligibility. Time to lodge an official protest. So the official writer protest must be filed within a reasonable time. In the absence of a league or a tournament rule fixing the time limit for filing a protest should be considered if filed within a reasonable time, depending upon the nature of the case and the difficulty of obtaining the information on which to base the protest. Within 48 hours after the rescheduled after the scheduled time of the protest is generally considered a reasonable time. Information required for written protest. So the formal written protest should contain the following information. So the date, time, and place of the game, the name of the umpires and scorers, the rule and section of the official rules or local rules under which the protest is made, decision and conditions surrounding the making of the decision, all essential facts involving the matters protest. So result of the protest. The decision made on the protest game must result in one of the following. So the protest is found invalid and game score stand as player. So let's proceed to the last rule of the game, which is the rule 12, scoring. The official rule. Um, a player shall keep record of each game as outlined in the following rules. So shall have the sole authority to make all decisions involving judgment. For example, it is the scorer's responsibility to determine whether uh, whether a batter's advance to first base is a result of a hit or an error. However, a scorer shall not make a decision which conflicts with official player rules or within an umpire's decision. So, the box score. Each player name and position or position to be played shall be listed in order to um, which he batted or would have batted unless the player is legally ejected or removed from the game or the game ends before his turn at bat. Base hits shall not be recorded. A base hit shall not be scored in the following cases. When a runner is forced out by a bat ball, or would have been forced out except for a fielding error. When a player field is bat ball retires a proceeding runner with ordinary effort. When the field fails in attempt to retire a proceeding runner and in the score judgment, the batter's runner could have been retired as first base. So pitcher credit with the win. So a pitcher shall be credited with the win in the following situation: when he is starting pitcher and has pitched at least 4 innings and his team was not only the lead when he plays but remains in the lead for the remainder of the game. Then, when a game is ended after 5 innings of play and the starting pitcher has pitched at least 3 innings and his team scored more runs than the other team when the game is terminated, then pitcher charged with the loss. A pitcher shall be charged with a loss regarding of the number of innings he has pitched if he replaces when his team behind in the score and his team thereafter fails to tie scorers or gain the lead. And for the the game summary shows the list of the items in this order: a score by innings and a final score, the run bat in and by whom hit, 2 bases hit and by whom hit, 3 base hit and by whom hit, home runs and by whom hit, sacrifice flies by whom hit, and double plays and plays participating in them, triple plays and player participating in them, number of walks given by each pitcher, number of batters struck out by each pitcher, number of hits and runs allowed by each pitcher, and the name of the winning pitcher, the name of the losing pitcher, the time of the game, the only name of the umpires and scorers, and stolen base by whom, sacrifice bonds, the names of batters hits by a pitch ball and pitcher who hit them, and the number of wild pitches made by each pitcher. So stolen base. So stolen base are credited to a runner whether he advanced 1 base unaided by a hit or put out an error, a force out, a fielder's choice, a pass ball, and wild pitch or illegal pitch. This includes a batter's runner advanced to second on a wild base on the ball. Records of forfeit games. All records of a forfeit game shall be included in the official record except that of a pitcher's won-loss record. So that is the rules of the softball from rule number 9 to rule number 12. Thank you for watching from the part 1 up to this last part of the reporting session. Thank you, sir, and God bless.